he has journals full of lyrics doesn't make them any good lyrics. You know that song Bedrock? That was like way back. That lyric where he's like, I love your sushi roll, I'm hotter than wasabi. Like his career took that direction. Like there was like... I hate that people say that Drake is the best rapper of our generation. He's a good artist, like I like listening to him sing, but you don't see like John Legend trying to drop a rap album.
Well, I love Drake, and I do think Drake is probably one of the greatest artists of this current generation. Why? I mean, the guy makes magic on songs. He started out rapping. I mean, honestly, I think we all started out singing in our shower, so if anything, this singing career was bound to happen at some point. At some point, you gotta take it out of the shower and into the booth.
He didn't start out rapping. He started out acting in Canada on Degrassi. This is like one of my big things with Drake, is it's like, don't be in the game 11 years and not evolve. Look at a song that came out around that time, like Best I Ever Had, or like any of the opening, beginning music. His themes and his depth just haven't changed. It's like uncomfortable. You know, it's like if I were going to, you know, you go to like a bar and you see like an 18-year-old dude who's like hitting on chicks. It's like cute when he's like 18. You're like, oh, you're like 18 at a bar. But it's just weird when he's 31. And that's how I feel about Drake.
Right. So you mean to tell me you expect this person, this human being who's living life and, you know, experiencing many different stories, you expect them to sort of grow out of that, or more or less they find better ways of speaking about it? Like Jay-Z has made a career out of talking about drugs, but the reason why he's heralded as the greatest is because he's found a way to say it in different ways at every single phase. Saying, I sold you a pack, to I give you blue magic. There's a sort of a magic there, I guess, in a sense. So for me, it's really hard to accept that. How do you not see the depth from Replacement Girl to, I mean, Tuscan Leather? I mean, or even 4 p.m. in Calabasas. Jesus.
I just wanted to throw I'm upset in there really badly. Like you were like, oh, like his evolution. It's like,
right.
Dude, I just feel like no matter what you say, I could just say, but like, yeah, but he made I'm upset. Like I could throw that at every single thing you have to say and it would be a fair argument, because it's like, it's one of the most embarrassing things that he's ever put out. You're saying that, you know, how could you not see his evolution? Or are you saying that he didn't evolve the way he talked about girls and money because that's all he talks about? Or is it that he should be talking about something different? Listen, I don't have a problem with like talking about girls and money. That's rap. You know, that's like part of how it goes. You know, and you're talking about Jay-Z. Jay-Z had his own growing pains, his own struggles of like, I'm in my 40s now and what do I do with that as a rapper, right? Which is fine. But my thing with Drake is it's like, you know, he started before guys like Kendrick. He started around the same time as a J. Cole. And those guys have evolved from like, yo, it's all about girls and monies to like, what can I say that's gonna elevate the world? Like, what can I say that's gonna make a difference in the community I came from? And Drake is just like, still all about like this girl I liked double clicked on a Instagram of somebody else's and I'm gonna go cry about it. And like, can we talk about this whole like he's the emotional rapper thing? Yeah. It's ridiculous. He's not the first emotional rapper. Like, by any stretch of the imagination. Have you heard like Tupac? Yeah, I get it. And like as a woman who thinks like talking about your feelings is really important, like good, like it's great. Yeah. It's just like very, very lacking depth. And I'm at this point now where like I just can't really like support or follow him anymore because he's just not really like elevating anything.
He's not sharpening the blade for you. I get that. So it makes me wonder, I guess you don't listen to like 4 p.m. in Calabasas. Like that song right there was just a little drop in the wind of just to let you know that the pen still works, and it works impeccably. And I write in indelible ink. You know, like history-making kind of music. Now, you said you're upset. I've heard I'm upset, but then I've heard Sandra's Rose. So then now you have a range. You have a magical range of, I can give you this, or I can kick it up a notch and give you that too. Should he be a social justice warrior and try to save the planet or try to save America, even though he's Canadian? from some of the perils in which we experience, I can't push that responsibility onto anybody. If you're willing to take that on, then so be it. But I do remember him actually saying 2 albums ago that he wanted to do that. And then now we find out that he has a kid, so he was dealing with some things around that time. I can only imagine the conversations one was dealing with having a child on the way, and it was, let's just say it was unexpected. And I can understand why someone would say, I'm upset.
Yeah, but have you listened to I'm Upset?
I have.
He's not upset about the child. He's like 50 million. It's like he's like upset about like not having enough money or something else that's just like dumb. Like, and listen, I hear what you're saying about, I'm not gonna tell you that I don't think Drake is talented, because I do think he's like an incredibly talented individual. I just think he's lazy. Okay. Like, I think that he just throws, it's almost like, you know, like Lil Wayne circa a couple years ago, where he'd come out with a new song every single day, and it's like, you can't be putting that much effort into this if you're putting out a new one every single day. But like with Drake, it's like, okay, that's great that you
Okay, man, what we're not gonna do is disrespect Lil Wayne here, okay? Now, this is the mixtape God that you have just spoken upon about making songs on a day-to-day basis. I was 15 years old in Baltimore, Maryland, playing Xbox Live Gears of War, being the #3 clan in the world, and playing every single drought mixtape that was out at that time.
Can we get back to the topic?
You have it.
I love Lil Wayne. I'm not here to like diss Lil Wayne. I'm just giving you like an example, okay? Like, don't put out Scorpion that has like maybe 3 or 4 songs worth listening to. You know, he's got those like pop bangers. He's got that like Louisiana thing. It's like really great. It's awesome. Stick to that. Don't like, every time you have a thought, don't write it into like a song with that sounds exactly like every other song you've ever made. And then like try and get like emotional and deep, but like really just reveal your lack of depth.
And you heard no pain, no self-discovery through the conversation I was having on Scorpion? I mean, Summer Games, Jaded, none of those songs were doing the number for you about depth, no?
I can deal with like the like emotional like soul, like I like that stuff about Drake, right? But it's like when he intermingles it with like, oh, like you gonna catch a body, like you're like an upper middle class Canadian Jewish dude. Which like, listen, we could get into the whole conversation, are like upper middle class Jewish dudes welcome in hip hop, and like I'm like an upper middle class Jewish white girl, so like I'm not like in a position to like judge that. But my deal is own it. Like, don't pretend like you're something you're not. Acknowledge like your privilege, acknowledge like who you are, because where hip hop comes from is like a struggle. And I agree with you, everyone's got their own personal struggle, but don't pretend like your struggle is something it isn't. Like I'm at this place with Drake where it's like when those kind of songs come out, with like Migos or whatever, like I'm like viscerally uncomfortable because it's just so fake. Like it's just so inauthentic to who he is. And when he sticks to who he is, I think he's great. But you can't dub someone the best rapper of all time if they're just like, oh, I'm gonna like pull a gun on you. Meanwhile, like he's like America's mom's favorite rapper. Like you can't have it all like that. It doesn't work.
I feel you there. I totally understand that. However, I don't live Drake's life. I don't know what sort of stresses he goes through. I don't know what happens in the hidden hills. Who knows? There could be ninjas. You might need your effing for whatever might go down. However, if you tell me the story and it sounds awesome, I'm gonna say, go Drake. I love you, brother. Keep making magic. I'll be here. And I also love the fact that Drake doesn't mind bringing other artists onto, I guess, the mainstream spotlight, saying, hey, I have this platform, get up here and make some magic.
I would argue that he does a lot of that because he needs the help. He's like, I need some help from someone else to make this a great hip hop album, or I need something to make my like trap hood thing seem credible. Like maybe if I bring you up here with me, like together, I won't seem like such a phony or a fraud. Like, I mean, this is coming from the dude who's been in like 5 rap beefs with like 20-year-olds. You're like, you're like, oh, like he gets along with everyone, young, old. It's like he literally goes into a situation that has nothing to do with him, like inserts himself to try and like start a fight. And it's just this like grand overcompensation for like where he doesn't automatically fit in hip hop.
You thought Drake started that? Because I thought it was the other way around, and Drake was saying, hey, I'm not pussy. So if we want to play this game, I can play, but, you know, I play for keeps. And what happens is I think people wanted to test. And sorry, this is a Scantron. You can't bring a pen to a Scantron. And that's where people failed. That's another reason why I like Drake. He's not afraid of confrontation. The Pusha T incident, most recently, was great. It was like, album dropped, 12 hours elapsed, a response. And I was like, wow. And it was scathing.
It's just like the way he like soaks in the drama of it all. You know, like if drama's always around you, at some point you gotta wonder, like, is it you? Like, it's him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he starts everything, but there's something about him and the way he is that like soaks in and attracts this drama, and not a problem. But I think if we're really talking about like the greatest rapper of our generation, we're gonna talk about someone who exists for a purpose and then deals with the haters along the way, rather than someone who goes in after hater, after hater, after hater. I'm just not clear on what Drake's purpose is. Like, I'm not sure what he's actually out to do. And if he would like maybe go away for a few years, like live a little and then come back and make something, I would be much more willing to get back on board. But my big thing with Drake is it's like, he's lazy. You know, I think to be the greatest of all time, it's like, you're on a constant hustle. Everything you're writing is intentional and is creating something and is drawing from something. And he's a good hip hop artist. He is not the greatest rapper of our generation.
Wow. Throughout this decade, he's been making great music. Everything from Over to Headlines, Tuscan Leather. I mean, 4 p.m. in Calabasas, Light Up, We'll Be Fine, Underground Kings. I feel like there's like a crowd of people outside screaming other, you know, song titles with me, because they understand like, yo, I get it. I get the love that you're talking about. I wish I could bridge it over to you, but I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.
What up, squad? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can hit the subscribe button. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram by clicking the links below. Until next time, thanks for watching All Def Music.